today's CIO is completely different to when I was doing this stuff.
So when I started, I mean, I could have installed a server when I started, but today there's no way.
The role is much more complicated now.
I think there it's all about innovation.
We're seeing a lot of change in businesses today.
A good CIO will have come out of the industry that they're working in and understand exactly how that business operates.
I think of a CIO as the core position in the entire organization that links business and technology together.
We're automating decisions instead of transactions. I think that's a huge difference in mindset.
There's never been a more exciting time to be a CIO in this day and age.
How has the role of the CIO changed in 25 years? We asked some familiar faces to share their insights for Canadian CIO's 25th anniversary.
During the period of time when I grew up in that world, with the longevity of a CIO was approximately 18 months. I don't know why. I think it had a lot to do with the learning curve. CIOs were really leaned on to know everything about technology and everything about organization development and everything about the business.
To me, a CIO is not supporting the business. A CIO is an integral part of the business and should be involved in the plan from the very beginning, not supporting an already established plan, and should be contributing directly to the plan in terms of competitive technologies, emerging technologies, and so on.
Over my time as a CIO, I see it kind of evolving in two distinct areas. I think the first one was, when I started in that role, it was very much an operational, functional type role of keeping systems going, just basically keeping a business operating. And that role is now evolving to more of a business-focused role, which is how can technology be used to enhance the business, to create value. So it's changing in that type of a shift.
When I first started, a long time ago, the world was a different place. And what we've seen is that technology has disrupted the way we do business. A lot of organizations, when they come to market with products and service offerings, they have to think mobile. They have to think web.
Part of the challenge was CIOs were really not recognized as peers at the executive table, and quite frankly, women even less so at that point. So personally, the challenges were just being accepted as a business partner and as a woman at that table. But if I think of the technology challenges that we had at that point, we were really dealing with a lot of opportunities in terms of data, even at the smallest level, of how to get data at the level of the executive so that they could make the right executive decisions. If you think about it, we didn't have the tools that we have now. We had to create our own extraction of the data. And so challenges were really how to get the CEO the data that he needed to enlighten him in his business decisions, quite frankly.
I think the skill set of the CIO back then was a command and control kind of skill set. He would set the direction for IT, would be focused on IT. I think today's CIO is more around looking at a subservient or servant-based style leadership.
I think that we went from being technologists and connecting wires and making sure the machines run to being real good business partners who understand what makes our business work well. How do we grow the revenue stream? How do we cut our costs? And bring technology innovations to the organization that way.
The CIO role today is changing. The CIO role is moving to the core of everything we do in our business. It is the Chief Digital Transformation Officer of the future. The role is the core and the foundation of connecting technology and business, and to incorporate everything we do from an AI perspective, the machine learning, deep learning, blockchain, and guess what? That's exactly what the Digital Transformation Officer role is today, because you have to stay relevant today and for the future.
The CIO role is an interesting role. There was a time when it didn't exist, so let's just run some examples. We tend to think of it as the Chief Information Officer. That's the current way of thinking about it. It could also be the Chief Innovation Officer. That becomes a debatable thing depending on the culture of the company. Some companies would accept that, others won't. It could also be Chief Investment Officer. Are you investing in the right things, short-term and long-term? So there's a third derivative of that. And what about the Chief Interactive Officer? That's where I spend most of my time. And we're in an interactive world. So isn't the role really of a senior officer to drive the interactivity of a company?
We are looking forward to another 25 years. See you in 2043.